Good day, YouTube. I hope everyone out there is doing well. I was kind of going back and forth, and this is Conservative Free Spirit, by the way. I guess I have to remind myself of saying that. Hello, YouTube. I hope everyone is doing well. This is Conservative Free Spirit. I was kind of going back and forth on whether to upload a video today. I'm going to shuffle off camera. I don't know if you can hear these birds in my background, but they sound amazing. I'm so lucky because I get to hear this every day, all day long. You know, nice cool air. So this is going to be a rather lengthy video. I have no format for this video. Remember, I told you that I was going to be doing a lot of trial and error, seeing what works for me. What I'm comfortable with doing and what I'm comfortable with feeling and what comes to mind for me. I stood up and walked around and a lot of the cards just fell out in the deck. So I'm assuming you all have a lot to say today, or people are having a lot to say to you. I hope that you all are slowing down while driving. I feel like that's something that's particularly important as we move forward in these days, to slow down and be mindful of the potholes, the street signs, the landmarks. You know, does this street have a street sign? I feel like this is a moment of attention right now, paying attention to detail. And that way you won't be as flustered and as bothered by a lot of comments or obstacles if you're taking the moment to slow down and be more attentive. And trust me, that is not my MO. I am keep it moving right along. I feel like if you're not paying attention to that slow down energy, it might be affecting your money. The universe may be providing you with great financial opportunities that you may be bypassing, or because you're not slowing down, it may cost you some of your finances. Speeding tickets, car repairs, being late to some opportunities, or people canceling on you and probably thinking that you're not that upfront. You know, you can't keep your word. Also, do a review of your finances, if you will. Just kind of peruse through your checking account, your savings account. Check some of your transactions. Make sure that you made those transactions. Make sure those transactions look familiar to you. If you have a lot of credit cards, or if you have credit cards at all, make sure that you are kind of doing some spring cleaning. Go through and make sure that you have all your credit cards, that you have all of your bank cards, all of your ATM cards. You have all of your deposit slips, and the deposit slips that, you know, that they give you that already have your routing and your account number listed on it. Those deposit slips. Making sure that you still have your checkbooks. You know, I know not a lot of people are writing checks these days, but make sure that all of your financial tangibles are still in order. Make sure that, you know, you're searching through and sorting through and looking and making sure you have your checkbooks and your saving books. And this is prime time to do it, because I know a lot of us don't write checks. A lot of us don't really make too many deposits. We do a lot of transferring. But I really feel like a lot of you need to be focused and attentive, and make sure you still have these things that you don't use anymore. And if you don't use them, then shred them. Make sure that, make a list. Make sure they're not missing. Make sure that you didn't throw it away, or if you did throw it away, be certain that you threw it away. If this account is no longer open, discard those documents. Call the bank. Go to the bank. Is this account still active? I have the information here. Check your 401ks. I feel like there may be some misplacement or misappropriation of funds. So, or there may be some, be mindful where you're leaving your wallet and your purse. Check everyone isn't to be trusted. Make sure that, all of your debit cards and your ID. I just really feel like you need to do some spring cleaning and make sure that all of your information is intact. This is a great time to pull your credit reports, a great time to put fraud protection on your credit reports. It's free. And I really feel as if you're slowing down and kind of internalizing one more time, you're going to be able to, make those lists and check them twice. You're going to be able to sort through your safes and your file cabinets and all of your accounts. So really pay attention to this. To whoever's watching these videos, resonate at the time that you're watching them, whether it's right now, the next hour, the next year, the next 10 years, 50 years, so be it. Do some spring cleaning with your finances. Kind of peruse through, make sure you have all the information that you think you have. Okay? I'm going to put this card back. Just going to let the energy speak to us as we continue to shuffle. And we're going to address some topics. As I stated, if you have a time limit, this video here may not be for you. I really don't know how long it's going to be. I really don't have any particular topics that I'm going to focus on. That may be your energy that's coming about as well. You may not have anything particular to discuss. That's okay. So we also have the Three of Swords here. Of course, some of you may have gone through some heartache, but I also feel like a lot of you are still carrying around those swords. There may be some great potential candidates who are approaching you now, and you may have shut off all the valves to your heart. For those of you who feel like you've been betrayed recently, currently, that may apply to you. Some recent betrayals, some recent heartbreak. But I feel like for those of you who have finally healed from the recent betrayals, the recent heartache, you're really guarded. Some of you didn't even take the swords out of your heart. Some of you still are walking around with the swords in your heart as lessons. Oh, that feels familiar. Oh, that sounds familiar. Oh, that looks familiar. And since we had the Ace of Pentacles prior to this, really notice how your life has changed now that you have discontinued certain intimate relationships. And not just sexual relationships, not just husband and wife or boyfriend and girlfriend, or marriage relationships, or monogamous relationships, or not so monogamous relationships according to this card, but certainly family oriented, friend oriented, career oriented, and even spiritual oriented. Consider how your finances have improved or how they have depleted since you've had this relationship in your life, or since you've discontinued this relationship. Really pay attention to how it's affected your finances. And I know a lot of people may or may not believe that, but trust and believe, it really does. It affects your energy, it affects your demeanor. And however method you use to generate revenue, to generate income, and to make a profit, once you've been affected, energetically, it affects the energy that you put into your work. It affects the energy that you put into your conversations, so that in turn can affect how you interact with people. That can affect how you, the energy that you actually put into your work, the output. Maybe you delay on starting your own business. Maybe you delay on going to work. So really pay attention to that. So as I stated, a lot of you could be guarded. A lot of you could have just are currently going through some heartache or some betrayal. And a lot of you, make sure that you're paying attention to how your finances are being affected with this Three of Swords here. I'm going to put that back in the deck and just do some more shuffling. So if you have a timeline, as I stated, this is all over the place. Maybe your thoughts are all over the place. Maybe a lot of you are free forming or free thinking. At this moment, you really don't have any rules. You really don't have any place to be or anything to do. You really don't have any kind of format going on for your life at this time, either out of fear or just because you've loosened the reins. And that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. Shuffle some more. Just however I feel kind of energy going on right now. I'm just going to try to let the cards pop out as they may. Oh, well, maybe I didn't need to go that way. I feel like some of you could be dealing with some headaches right now as well. Make sure that you're drinking plenty of water. I don't have any preference or references for you as far as the kind of water that you should be drinking or how much you should be drinking. But I would certainly encourage you to make sure that you're drinking a lot of water. That could be, the dehydration could be contributing to your headaches, other than, maybe it's light and wearing your hair too tight or wearing your hat too tight or your head wrap or band too tight. Of course, that could have a lot to do with it as well. Okay, so that card. So we have the King of Wands hanging out. I really like the King of Wands energy. He is a very stable force. He's a very active force. And I feel like a lot of people may feel like you don't have anything in the works going on. A lot of people may feel like you've kind of given up, or because you're not doing what it is that you said you were going to do or what it is that you used to do. You may have failed or given up. But the King of Wands is sitting here on the throne. This energy is sitting here on the throne, looking back, surveying what has already occurred, surveying the good, surveying the bad. It's an active energy, even though he's sitting down in this chair, and this throne rather, and he's looking the opposite way. He's looking behind him. But as well, look at this wand. It still has life in it. It's still commanding. It's still going forth. It's still progressing. And just because you don't see him looking forward, or you don't see all of his cards, or he doesn't tell you all of the thoughts that are going through their head, doesn't mean that this energy isn't active, isn't planning, isn't productive. I feel like this King of Wands it's kind of a deceptive energy. It allows you to believe what you want to believe. You know, if you think that I'm not doing anything, okay. If you think I'm rich, filthy rich, okay. If you think I'm productive, great. Unproductive, okay, I'll roll with it. You know, I feel like this King of Wands is always taking note of what has happened, so that this energy can move forward and do better, be more productive, be more creative, be more active, be more jubilant, be more stable. So a lot of people may be looking at you right now at this time and thinking that, oh, they're not doing anything. Oh, they failed. Oh, they don't have anything going on. But you're saying, okay. You're not even trying to fight the energy. You're not even trying to fight the rebuttals. You know better. And that's the good part about internalizing. Let's move along. Now, this isn't the book interpretation for these cards. You know, this may not be what you see when I hold the cards up, but this is just what's coming to me as I hold the cards up. As the cards fall out and flip out. And guess who pops out again? Do you see this? With this shuffle? Guess who pops out again? Make sure that you're believing what it is that you are telling people and doing. I also feel like this is a come up. This is probably something that's going to be a little bit unexpected for even yourself. You're probably going to surprise yourself at how successful your endeavors are going to become. You probably have a plan and have goals, and you have your strategies in place, and you're carrying life and giving life. But when this all pans out, it's probably going to shock you how amazing this birthing of this energy is going to be for you. It's probably going to be amazing. Just great, passionate, fiery, active movement energy. And I feel like this isn't going to be something that's only going to be for you, even though I've said in quite the other videos to keep your own counsel. This isn't a team sport. I feel like this is going to be something that you're going to produce that is going to affect the masses. The masses. And I also feel like this is kind of some on second thought kind of energy. You know, on second thought. Look at him popping out twice. So we're going to leave that card out. King of Wands came out twice in the shuffle. Says he has some things to say to us. Tell us what you need us to know, King of Wands. What else is there? I feel like as well, you're going to be able to be very diplomatic. You're going to be able to stand your ground. As well, there may be some, oh, I didn't know that this person was that way. I didn't know this person had that going on, or had that knowledge going on, or could talk that way, or could travel in that manner. Here's another card that just kind of fell out the deck. Let's flip it over. The Tower card in reverse. I was also stating in the other videos that a lot of you will not even be able to go back to your old ways, your old habits, those old obstacles, because the door won't even be there. The tragedy is over. The obstacles are over, or the shit has already hit the fan. So you don't have to look for any more obstacles. I feel like this is going to be kind of changing, almost like the World card does. It's going to be a little bit, and then it's going to come back this way. Just a few obstacles, a few catastrophes, and then they'll be resolved. They'll be handled. They'll be taken care of. Oh, and maybe we can, and then you'll look back on those obstacles and say, okay, yeah, that was a tragedy. Yeah, that was foolishness that was going on. You know, that was so messed up the way that went down. You know, maybe I could have handled that better, or dang, you know, I'm not going to trust that person again, or, you know, I'm not going to let that happen again. And then you're going to move right along. And then this energy is going to still be in the past. I feel like this is a crossing card. So we're gonna lay this as your current position, and this is your crossing card. Wish we could kind of put it this way. Surveying your territory, surveying the mess that has occurred, the obstacles, the challenges that you have overcome, and you're saying, you know what? That looks familiar. You're just wearing different clothes.